How you doing, everybody? Welcome back to Foos Files, the podcast for fans of the Foo Fighters. It's Dan here. I wasn't expecting to be back on the airwaves so soon after the previous episode, but do you know what? Quite a lot's happened in the last 24 hours, hasn't it? So I felt compelled to jump on and just quickly share a few initial thoughts on the big Foo Fighters announcements that we had on Thursday. So let's start with the new single, Your Favourite Toy. It's the title track from the new album, which is going to come out on the 24th of April. And yeah, the single itself, well, I've got to say, of the 3 songs they've dropped over the past year, this is certainly the most instant. I found myself, even on the first listen, just sat at my desk at home tapping along to it. I've played it about half a dozen times now, and yeah, it really resonates with me because I'm hearing an early 2000s bluesy garage rock vibe, which is right in my wheelhouse. It's a real groover. I'm a big fan of the band The Black Rebel Motorcycle Club, and I hear more than a hint of BRMC in this song, so it's a win-win from me. It's really pacey. As I say, it's got a groove to it, and it's interesting that Dave said that it's kind of set the tone for the whole process of the new album. In the notes that dropped alongside the album announcement, he says, your favourite toy really was the key that unlocked the tone and energetic direction of the new album. We stumbled upon it after experimenting with different sounds and dynamics for over a year, and the day it took shape, I knew that we had to follow its lead. It was the fuse to the powder keg of songs we wound up recording for this record. It feels new. So yeah, it sounds like this song really was the catalyst for the whole thing, hence why it's the title track. So the album itself, as I say, 24th of April, it's going to be released. There's 10 songs on it. So we know about Your Favourite Toy, Unconditional, and Asking for a Friend that we've spoke of before. So, interestingly, your favourite toy, that's under 3 minutes, and there's only 10 songs. So that suggests to me it's going to be quite a short, snappy, pacey album, very much in the spirit of how they've recorded it, because Dave also revealed that the whole thing was done in just a few weeks. And quite tellingly too, at his home in what he kind of joked is like his box room, where he actually said that all 6 members of the Foo Fighters couldn't get in there at the same time. So fans have already said they're channeling the spirit of Wasting Light with this one. And, you know, if it's anywhere near as good as that record, well, we're in for a treat. And then on the back of the announcements, we also had Dave's interview with Zane Lowe for Apple Music, which I think it was about 10-15 minutes long, so it's probably as extensive as anything he's done for a long time, largely talking about the album and the process. So the bits that I thought were quite telling, first of all on the record, he did actually reference Wasting Light in a sense that when they recorded that album, also at his home, he said they rehearsed it so much to the extent that they were able to get up and play it back to front on stage as a whole album. And he hinted that the new record will be a bit like that. He actually said the first half of the record is like a set list. And I was talking to some other fans about this, and we all agreed that hopefully they will follow through on this, because it'd be great if they were able to get up on stage and be brave and ambitious to almost play an entire new album and kind of go, this is how much we believe in this record. So that remains to be seen over the summer, but it does sound like they are going to heavily lean on the new record for the set, which is potentially very exciting. And then the other key part, of course, from the Zane Lowe interview was that Dave did address the Josh Freese situation, which has kind of been hanging over the band since last summer when Josh departed, and it's led to a lot of speculation, hasn't it, about what really happened. So to kind of paraphrase what Dave had to say about the situation, he said, we had Taylor Hawkins as our drummer for 25 years, and beyond being an incredible drummer, he was this incredible spirit, this incredible human being, our brother, our best friend. So continuing after Taylor was really complicated, not just for the band, but for anyone who was going to come in and fill his shoes. He said Josh is a consummate professional. He's had a storied career. They had such a blast and a great time on tour. They did the last show in September 2024 and all stepped away from the band for 6 or 7 months of being inactive. He said the decision didn't happen overnight, but in those 6 or 7 months, they talked as a band about what to do next and the future direction. He said we called Josh collectively as a band and let him know that we were going to move on with a different direction. He pointedly said we told him as a band, and he said some great drummers get these calls from a manager or a lawyer. But we called Josh and said, look, this was awesome, this was a blast, thank you so much, and we're going to move on and find another drummer. He finished by saying, I think Josh said it best when he said he didn't feel like our music resonated with him, and that's really important, and we found that now with Ilan. It's like we feel like a band again. So it does kind of back up the information that was already out there, but it's from the horse's mouth now, so hopefully it sort of puts that to bed. The other point he did make on the subject was that Nirvana, Oasis, Nine Inch Nails and other bands, they've gone through multiple drummers in a relatively short space of time, whereas Foo Fighters have had 4 in 30 years, and they had Taylor for 25 years. So I kind of took that in a kind of thinly veiled way as him getting his defence into those people who kind of see him as this guy who burns through band members, which is a little bit of an unfair perception, really. So that's a quick snapshot of what's happened over the past 24 hours. And then, of course, we've got the Graham Norton performance tonight on the BBC. It was taped last night, but it's going out tonight. So looking forward to seeing how the new single goes down. And as I said, we'll do a deeper dive on the whole thing with next Wednesday's episode. So in the meantime, if you've got any comments or voice notes that you want to share, we'll make sure we get those out on the podcast too. Drop me a line at foosfilespod@gmail.com or at foosfilespod on Instagram. As always, thanks for listening to Foos Files. Take care, and we'll see you next time.